It's a great day to crochet. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rochelle and this is the WIP window. I have some things that I want to show you today. I have some finished objects, I have some new yarns, and I finished my shawl weave budget shawl. So I'm really excited about that because tomorrow's the 30th. So I wanted to make sure I got it done in time. I've had a blanket that I've been working on for a while that's for a gift, and so I kind of was working on that and working on some other WIPs that I wanted to finish, and so I didn't get started on my shawl until this past weekend, but it was really fast. I chose stitches that went by really quickly, and so yeah, I got it done today. So I was really excited because tomorrow's the day and I wanted to make sure. All right, so here is my shawl. And you can see all the different stitches there. I'll go through at the end of the video and kind of show you like how I put it together so that if anyone's interested in actually making this, you'll kind of know how it's put together. So yeah, it's a pretty long shawl and long this way, not necessarily long this way, but I use the ZZ Twist yarn and I did a yarn review on that. I like the finished product, but I wasn't crazy about the yarn. And I know some of you left comments on my video and said, you know, you really like the yarn. Well, I really liked how it washed up because it looked exactly like it did before I put it in the washing machine and dryer. So that was great. But I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know that I would say it's weird, it's just different. It's just a different yarn. And so if you happen to see this yarn, I got mine from Hobby Lobby. If you happen to see this yarn, go squeeze it and feel of it and you'll see what I'm talking about if you've never tried it before. But anyway, I don't know if I'll ever use this yarn again. Maybe I will if, you know, if there's something where I want this type of yarn to be, for it to be made out of. But anyway, I basically just wanted to use each of the skeins that I had, and I wanted to find a stitch where you could use two colors and make it transition from one to another without it just being bam, there's one color, there's one color. So I've got some different transition stitches that allowed me to kind of transition, and I really like how it turned out. You know, the whole concept of this was to make up your own pattern, and if you didn't have enough stitches, you fudge it and you add a stitch or take away a stitch. So basically I started with 200, I chained 200, and I was like, okay, let's just add another one, because sometimes you add one or add two or add three chains for your beginning chain. And so I just did 201 chains and I just went with it. So it worked out. I think when I got to this part of it, when I was doing this box stitch, it went in just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. But then when I started to put the border on it, it all evened out, so it worked out just fine. But anyway, at the end of this video, I'll give you a closer look and kind of explain what I did. The one thing that I like about this shawl is, since it's not super wide, but it is long, and the way this yarn is so squishy, if I wanted to use it as a scarf, I could even use it as a scarf because it does kind of bunch up nicely. And so yeah, it's going to be kind of a thick scarf, but that's okay. I don't know, it doesn't really, sometimes it gets cold down here. I'm in the Houston area. Sometimes it gets cold during the winter. Yeah, and I like to bundle up. I'm always cold except when I'm having hot flashes, but yeah, I like to have something to keep me warm. So I will be using this a lot. But the blanket that I was working on, I made it for a wedding gift, so I'll be putting this in the mail. This is for one of my daughter's friends, and of course, the younger generation is not into the fancy stitching. So I sent the girl that I made this for, I sent her like 3 different styles of Afghans, and so she said she liked this. So this was basically the same stitch over and over and over. but that's okay. It turned out really nice. It's one of those stitches where it looks like it's knit, but it's not. And it's worked. These are the rows going this way. So you work it from basically side to side. So the blanket is not super long. It's kind of more of a lapgan, but then I made the tassels to go on the ends of it. And I thought it turned out really nice. It'll look really cute draped over a chair, and this yarn is so squishy. I'm trying to remember which yarn it is. I did not bring it up here with me, but I will put the name of the yarn right here. I know it has nylon in it, so I think it's acrylic and nylon, and it is a Yarn Bee yarn from Hobby Lobby, and so it makes it really, really soft. And what I did is I took 2 strands and held them together because I wanted it to be chunky. I do not care for the chunky yarns, but I don't know what it is, but if you hold 2 strands of worsted weight yarn together, it seems like it makes it fluffier, so it makes it squishier. So doing this stitch with the 2 strands of worsted weight yarn gives it a chunky look, but it's just so squishy, and I really, really love it. This is the second blanket that I've made with this particular stitch, but it's the first time I've used this yarn, and it's really, really nice. I need to do I didn't do a yarn review on this. I need to work up a little swatch and wash it and see how it turns out, and then do a yarn of the day yarn review on it. So, but anyway, I'll be getting this put in the mail to her, and I think she'll like it. Another thing that I worked on is my top that I have on, and I'll put a picture in right here where you can see the full length. I was watching, I guess Petra at Petra's Happy Place. I don't think she did a live yesterday, but I think it was either the Sunday before, no, two Sundays ago maybe, because I think her last Sunday live was her 1,000 subscriber party, and that was a lot of fun. But the Sunday before that, she was showing some tops that she had made, and she had made a top like this in purple. And so I had some Rockstar yarn in this blue color, and I thought, ooh, I think that Rockstar yarn would make a really pretty top. And so she told us what book it came from. So I got on Amazon, because it's a pattern in a book. I got on Amazon and I looked up the book, and they had a printed version and they had a Kindle version. And since I had done, you know, when you order on Amazon and you go to check out, it's got different things that you can check, so that you can get maybe $1 credit for an audiobook or something. Well, I had, you know, so many things you buy, you don't really need them tomorrow or in 2 days. And so I just go ahead and I get that $1 credit. Well, I think this was a $9.99 book, but because I had $7 credit, I got the Kindle version for $2.99. So I thought that was a bargain, because I really liked the way this top looked. And I did make one modification to it that I'll tell you about. But anyway, I don't have, my iPad is right here, but I've got some notes on it. So I'll put the cover of the book and the title of the book here, and I'll also put a link down in the description. So if you're interested in taking a look at that book, you can take a look at that if you didn't happen to see Petra's live. But anyway, so whenever I started to make this top, the strap was only about this wide, and I kind of wanted it wider. So I went ahead and I finished the top. I wanted to make sure I had enough to finish the top. And then I did have some left over, so I came and I just started working single crochets around and made it wider. So even though I don't know that you can see, this is originally where it was, and you work it from the top to the bottom, but I just came and I just added single crochet rows this way, and I don't think it looks bad. I had to do some decreases so that it, you know, didn't fluff out, or so it didn't ripple out. So decreasing helped that. And I'm thinking that, I don't know, I do have another, I have at least one ball of the Rockstar yarn left. So I'm thinking about maybe coming around and doing a single crochet. Maybe, I don't know if I want to include this part or if I just want to tack it here and just do some single crochets under the arm, because I almost feel like it doesn't come around on the side enough. And wearing a shirt underneath it, I still have lots of room. So I also have a picture that I'll put in right here of this over a black dress that I have. So I like the white, I like the black. Leave a comment, let me know which one you think looks best. And in that same book, they had this purse pattern. And I'll put the type of lion brand yarn that this is. I think it's called Rewind. Maybe that's not it. I can't remember. But this purse pattern was in that book. And I did do a modification on that. Now, what's really cool about this yarn is it looks like straw, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really soft. And I thought that would make a good bag because, you know, when you carry your purses on your shoulder and if they are swiping against your clothes, especially if you have on, you know, something that you've made, it might tear it up if it's something that's, you know, some sort of yarn or material that's abrasive. But this is really soft and it looks, to me, it looks kind of like straw. But I got this colorway. I went back because I had used up the entire skein up to here, and I knew I didn't have enough to do another repeat. So I was going to go back and get some more of this color, but they were out of it at Joann's. So I went ahead and got this, and I thought, you know, I can just make a contrasting band, and then I did have enough of the other color left to do just a single crochet border. And then I wanted to put some leather handles. So Hobby Lobby has packs of leather stripping, straps, whatever. It's kind of a variety pack. Normally it's just $4.99, but if you use your 40% off coupon that they have, if you have a Hobby Lobby in your area, then you can get this for really cheap. And it had these straps in there, and I think there's one like wide strap that's probably 1.5 inches in there that I could use for something, and then some other little black ones. But I thought for that price, because if you were to order purse handles, they're expensive. You know, if you have an old purse that you don't use anymore, you could always take the handles off and use that. But I just used my little rivet kit and put those on. On the inside, I just put a little strip because they had some of the leather strips in there that were really too short to use as handles. But I just cut that off and used it on the inside because if you were to do this through your crochet, it wouldn't stay. It would be too small and slip through the holes. But I'm going to do a video. If you've never put purse handles on with these little rivets, there's a whole little rivet kit that I got off of Amazon, and whenever I have the video, I'll put all the information in that video. But I got the little rivet kit. It comes with a little thing that you can punch the holes with. You just have to make sure you have a wood block to put behind it, and you need a hammer, and then you just pop the rivet on, and then you hammer it with the little tool, and it secures it. And so I really like how it turned out. I'm using it as a purse right now, and I didn't line it because this is what I do for my purses. I put all of my stuff in a bag like this, and this actually came, I was at Walmart, and they had this clear purse, and then this was the inside. So it's a pretty good size. I've got all kind of stuff in there, but I just pull that out, slip it in my new purse, And that way I don't have to line any of my bags that I make. So this pattern was also in that same book that this was in. So for $2.99, that's a good deal. And there are still a lot of cute patterns in that book that I'm going to look through and possibly make in there too. Also, I finished what I thought was a UFO. I started this top last summer, and I had the front done and blocked, and this is knitted, and I think this is the top that I showed in my Baby Cotton 100G yarn review video. And I hadn't quite finished it at that point, but I did get it finished because I had done the front and blocked it, and I had done pretty much all the back, except I had not done this bottom part. I don't know why I didn't just go ahead and finish it whenever I was working on it. I think the weather got hot, and then I think the weather got cold, and then I just was like, there's no sense in even finishing that because it's cold weather now. But I really like how it turned out. This pattern came from the garnstudio.com website. They have tons of patterns. If you're a knitter, they have so many knit patterns, but they do have some great crochet patterns too. So I'll put a link below to this sweater and just to their general website, because you go in there and you choose your language, and then you can choose knitting, crochet, or all. You can choose the yarn type that you want, and then it comes up with all of the possible patterns. Even if you don't put a term like sweater or whatever, even if you don't put a term, it comes up with all of their items, and they're all free, so it's really, really great. But I love this yarn. This is a yarn from Ice Yarns called Baby Cotton 100G. It's Giza cotton, super soft. It washed up really nicely. I haven't washed the sweater, of course, but I did wet it and block it, because knitting, you just kind of have to do that. But I'm really pleased with how this top turned out. I just need to find something to go underneath it. I like to either, and I could probably just put this white top underneath it, but I might see if I can find some sort of sleeveless. I don't really like tank tops. I want wider straps. So I'm going to look for something to go underneath that, because it's, it's pretty holey, so it needs some sort of undershirt underneath there. But I'm happy with how that turned out. So those are my finished objects. I think that's everything that I finished. So last week Hobby Lobby had their 30% off, and they run that sale. It rotates every few weeks. So unless you absolutely have to have some yarn from Hobby Lobby, hold off until their 30% off sale is going on. They always have that 40% off coupon that you can pull up on their website or in their app. But I've been wanting to make a certain shawl, and I know my mom's probably watching this video, so I'm not going to say the name of the shawl. For those of us who've been on YouTube, I haven't been on YouTube that long, but I've watched enough videos to know what LIT means. And so I went and I picked out 8 colors, because the original design for that shawl uses 8 colors. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I picked out 8 colors to use, and I got the Must Be merino yarn, and it is so soft. I need to work up a swatch, wash it, and see how it works. It is a really, really nice looking yarn. But let's see if I can get all 8 colors in here at once. So these are the 8 colors that I got for the LIT shawl. I'm going to make it for my mom for Christmas. So Mama, this is your little teaser for what you're going to get for Christmas. And what's great about this is that I'm probably going to have enough yarn to make 2. Yeah, some of the colors, like if you look at the pattern, some of the colors takes 25 grams, some takes 50 grams. And so if I happen to run out and I'm making my second shawl, I can just go grab some more from Hobby Lobby, so not a problem. But yeah, those are my yarns that I'm getting for that shawl. And I think it's going to be beautiful because it's her style. She likes Victorian. I think she likes these kind of colors that I picked out. So yeah, I think it's going to turn out really pretty. I think she's going to like it. I also got some of these. These are just so cute, aren't they? Like, they are super cute. So they have a couple of different kinds. This one is the Sugar Wheel Cotton Mini. This one is 100% cotton. Oh, and the Must Be Merino, if you don't have a Hobby Lobby in your area, this is 50% merino, 25% acrylic, and 25% nylon. And the nylon gives it such a soft feel. And of course, merino yarn is soft anyway, so this yarn's really nice. The Sugar Wheel cotton yarn, this one feels, it's probably a mercerized. It doesn't say it's mercerized, but it has that feel, and it kind of has that look to it also. You know how the mercerized cotton kind of has a little bit of a shine to it? This, it doesn't have much, but it's got that smoothness of a mercerized cotton. And then I also got a couple of the little dollop ones, and these are 55% acrylic, 45% cotton. I love the washcloths in the acrylic cotton blends. I've used Peaches and Cream, Sugar and Cream on those washcloths, and that's okay, but it just seems like, and I wash and dry my stuff. I really don't like to, I'm a wash and dry girl. You know, if I have clothes, they're going to get washed, they're going to get dried, unless it's something really, really special that I just love and care about, and I want to make sure I take good care of it. But I wash and dry my towels, I wash and dry my washcloths. All of my washcloths that I crochet or knit, they go in the washing machine, they go in the dryer. The ones that are made out of acrylic and cotton, they dry quicker and they hold up better to washing and drying. Something about the 100% cotton ones, just over time, you know, with washing with the towels, they just get worn down. But if you make washcloths, I would highly recommend getting like a 50-50 blend, or this is a 55-45 blend. I highly recommend getting those blends. They dry quicker. You know, you hang them over the side of the tub to dry. They're dry by in the morning. And then they do hold up better in the washing machine and the dryer. So I thought these were cute. I like to do little washcloth with a bar of soap combinations for gifts. Sometimes I make my own soap. Sometimes I go to Marshall's and they have like those gigantic bars of soap with the pretty paper around them. They're just so cute. And then I put them in a little cellophane bag with a bow, and people love them. And it's an inexpensive gift. So I got those because I thought those were so cute, and I really like this colorway for a washcloth. Also, I picked up this Breathe Deep yarn because it reminded me of Feels Like Butter. The Lion brand Feels Like Butter yarn. And I'm going to be doing a yarn review. They look exactly the same. In fact, I've got the Feels Like Butter up here. Okay, so these are filled with all my yarn. It's ready to go for those Yarn of the Day yarn reviews, but we had a death in the family, so I pretty much had at least a week where I wasn't doing any videos. So I kind of, you know, got behind. So I've got a ton of yarn for yarn reviews, and so I'm going to try to get those cranking out, because I know that a lot of you can't just pop into the store and buy yarn. You can't touch it, you can't smell it. And so I think from the comments that I've gotten that those have really helped a lot of you to decide, oh, I really don't want that yarn, or wow, that's a really great yarn. And then of course when you order from Ice Yarns, it's a hit or miss. And so, yeah, if you've got somebody else out there paying the money and doing the yarn reviews for you, that's a win-win. So I look at those yarn reviews of other people also, and I buy Ice Yarns kind of based upon that. But then also I'm like, I'm curious about that yarn. I think I'll add that package if I'm already doing a big order. I'll just add a package of a yarn that I'm just curious about. So If you've gotten, this video's gone on for at least 20 minutes or more, depending upon how I've edited it, but if you've gotten this far into the video and you have any special ice yarns that you want me to do reviews on that I haven't done yet, leave me a comment, tell me which ones you're interested in, because I do need to order. I'm making my temperature blanket and I've run out of yellow and I've almost run out of orange. Those are 70s. It stands for temperatures in the 70s and 80s, and down here we have a lot of those temperatures, so I'm going to have to order those 2 yarns so I can finish my temperature blanket for the year. And then, you know, I need some more yarn to add in, but let me know what yarn you're interested in and I'll order it and do a review. So we'll do a comparison on the Breathe Deep and the Feels Like Butter, and we'll see which one is the better deal size-wise, because this skein is a lot smaller than the Feels Like Butter. I think the Feels Like Butter comes in 2 different sizes, but we'll see which one's the better deal, and we'll see if one acts differently than the other when you wash it. So that was my interest in getting this yarn. Also, I had not tried the Roll With It by Red Heart. This one looks like some of those other yarns I've seen that have, you know, different colors in them. I'm trying to think. There's a Premier yarn that I'm trying to think of that looks a lot like this. And then of course I'm looking over on my shelf over here. I think there's some mandala yarn that looks very similar to this. But we'll see how that compares and we'll see if that's a good deal. All 30% off, so I was happy with that. I picked up this set of hooks. I don't know if any of y'all have tried these hooks. This whole set of hook from a 2mm up to a 7mm is $9.99. And of course, if you use your 40% off coupon, it's only $6. So that's a pretty good deal. These hooks, they have a hard plastic handle. I like that they have the letter and the millimeter on them. Now some of them don't have a letter on them because there is no letter for them, I guess. And then I'm guessing they're aluminum, but this is the kind of hook tip that I like. I don't really care for the Susan Bates, and I'm not a fan of furls, even though I do have a couple of the furls. I'm just not a fan of them. But yeah, I've used these and they're pretty good just to have on hand for spares. So, you know, some of us that have multiple whips going on, we just like to throw our hook in the bag. So it's always good to have extra hooks. Yeah, those are pretty good. And they're a good price. Price is right. Let's see what else. Dollar Store, I just did the yarn review on Just Yarn. So if you haven't seen that, take a look at that. I was also in the 99-cent store, which not everything in there is 99 cents at this particular store. They do have other things that have higher prices on them, but I found some 100% polyester yarn. They had it in this purple, and I got blue. They had black and white. They didn't have a ton of colors, but I was interested in the polyester because it's not every day that you find a yarn that's 100% polyester. So I'm gonna do a little swatch on that. In fact, I've already worked up a swatch in the blue and run it through the washer and dryer. So I'll be doing that video pretty soon so you can see how 100% polyester yarn works in the washer and dryer. It came out pretty good. Okay, so I want to give 3 shout outs to these 3 channels that I found. They're new to me. 2 of them are very new. Well, 1 of them is very new. 2 of them have been doing regular videos. But anyway, let me tell you about them, and I will have them linked below in case you're interested. The first one, her name is Ginger, and her channel is called Yarn Geek. Y'all, she has the most amazing yarn wall, and she just had a friend that brought her some shelves, and so she redid it. It is amazing. And I've got some notes about her. She is an amazing crocheter. She's doing some of those mosaics. She is making some pink shorts for her son. He's 16. The stitch looks really cool. Y'all need to go check her out. Also, she is making this Stegosaurus blanket that, you know how when you're making a grafgan and you're following all your little blocks? Well, her grafgan, it's not really a grafgan, it's baubles. Her dinosaur has all these little baubles, and the baubles are what make up the dinosaur, and it's turning out really cute. I can't wait to see it finished. She is a yarn addict, just like we are. So we need to welcome her into our yarny community. She is hilarious. She said she got online, and it's not my fault. I had to order this yarn because it's on sale and it's free shipping. And so yeah, I think she's in denial, but you know, most of us are in denial, but that's okay. We're enabling each other, we're supporting each other, and we're having a lot of fun. So yeah, you gotta have fun, right? Okay, so the second person that I'm doing the shout out about, her name is Malone Sulsar, and that's the name of her channel. And she has mostly knit. Okay, I cannot believe she only has, okay, so Yarn Geek Ginger only has 56 followers, so you definitely need to go check her out. She's doing really well. She's learned to edit her videos. She's got one where she hadn't learned to edit yet, but that's okay. But she's editing her videos, and they're turning out great. Okay, back to Anne. Anne's been knitting. She seems like, I'm thinking she's had a different channel before, because just the way she is in front of the camera, she's funny, just her mannerisms and the way she talks, she'll make you laugh. Just by the way she says things, she makes me laugh. She's hilarious. Her videography skills, either she's got the skills or somebody else is editing and creating those videos for her, because you know how little special effects and like the little beginning and ending of the videos? Yeah, I videotaped my coffee cup filling with coffee. That doesn't take much, but she's got this little spinning thing, and yeah, so go check her out. She just got into crocheting. She made a basket bag from a pattern from Jada in Stitches, and it turned out really good. And then she's got this little pumpkin tutorial where she shows you how you just crochet a rectangle, and she shows you how to make it into a little pumpkin. It's really cute. But go check her out. I'll have her and Ginger linked below. One more, and I think this lady might be a fairy, Cynthia's Joyful Creations. And of course her name is Cynthia. She has 237 followers, and she's already got herself on a video routine. She's got Monday, Fun Day Monday, Wednesday On the Hook, and Friday, I think she's calling it From Cup to From Cup to Conversation. And they're Friday conversation videos. And so she wants you to comment about like what things you want to talk about. And that way when you come back, you can talk about those things. And so you'll know what to expect. She has tutorials, she has unboxing, she has a nice yarn wall to look at. She gives you a little tour of her yarn wall. And so go check her out, Cynthia's Joyful Creations. So we've got Yarn Geek, we've got Malone Sulsar, and Cynthia's Joyful Creations. So those are my 3 shout outs. Now I'm really excited because Petra from Petra's Happy Place, she and I have been corresponding, and we're going to be doing a yarn swap. And so I've picked out some yarn for her because if you know Petra, she loves purple, she likes greens, and she says she also likes blue. And I have some yarn that has all 3 of those colors in there. I have enough for her if she wants to make a sweater. So yeah, I'm really excited to send that to her because it's been sitting on my shelf and I don't know what to do with it because those really aren't my colors. I thought about making something for a gift for somebody, but I think this is the perfect chance to share a yarn that maybe she probably hasn't had it before. I've ordered a lot from Craftsy Blueprint. Of course, they're gone out of business now, so you can't get this yarn anymore. But I'm willing to part. Petra is so sweet, and she does lives on Sundays. What was it? What's today? Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? No, today's Monday. Okay, so yesterday she didn't do a live for some reason, but anyway, she usually does her lives on Sunday afternoons, and so she shows things she's made like this. I learned this from her, where to find this pattern, and yeah, she's just a really sweet lady, and so I think we're gonna have a fun yarn swap. I think that's all I have for today. I've babbled on long enough. So I really appreciate all of you coming back to my channel, subscribing, spending some time. We have so many new subscribers from the hashtag Christmas in July Fairies. I'm really excited for July to get here. We have a lot going on. It's going to be super fun, and I will see y'all later. Okay, so I wanted to really quickly go through my Shawl We Fudge It shawl and tell you what I did. So first of all, I started and I chained 200, added a stitch or added another chain to make it 201. Then I started doing, you can ignore this border because these are single crochets I put on at the end. So I started doing what I think is called the lemon peel stitch. And so the lemon peel stitch does a double crochet, then a single crochet, then a double crochet, then a single crochet. So basically I started down here, did that all the way down, and ended on whatever double crochet or single crochet that it was. And then when you chain up to the next row and turn your work over, then on every other row or every row after that, you work a double crochet in the top of the singles and a single crochet on the top of the doubles. And so I did that stitch for a few rows. Then I did a whole row of double crochets so I could prepare for my box stitch. So from here up until here is the lemon peel. Then this is all double crochets. And then on the next row, down here to start off, I did a single crochet, or chain one single crochet, and I counted how many double crochets I had, because when you're doing the box stitch, you do the single crochet in between sets of 3. And so I didn't know if my sets of 3 would come out even. So I counted my double crochets, and then I found that I had one odd stitch. So basically I had multiples of 3, but I had 4 more stitches. So I split those 4 stitches, put 2 down here, 2 at the other end, and then I started doing my single crochets in between every 3 double crochets. And then the next row is easy. So I did the contrasting color that I was going to lead up into in that, and then I went back to my burgundy, and then you do your double crochets in your chain 2 space. So when you're coming in between, you do single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, and so on. That way you have chain 2s to do your 3 double crochets in. But you have to count your stitches to make sure that you make enough double crochets on each end so that your fabric tries to line up. That's where the fudge it comes in with this type of project. So then I just kept going, alternating my colors until I was doing the solid, all 3 of these colors. Let me move my camera up a little bit under these lights. Okay, so then after that, I wanted to do this stitch, and I will have to look up the name of this stitch and put it right there with it so that if you wanted to do the stitch, you could look it up. So when you do this stitch, you do your gradual increase, starting with single crochet, half double, and then let's see, I did a single crochet, because I had to count. You have to make sure you count so that you can fudge the ends of it to make up for any extra stitches. So I had to do an extra single crochet, but this little roller coaster looking wave, you have a single, half double, 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 half double, single, and then, is that right? Anyway, look up the name of the stitch and you'll find it. And then basically you just do some single crochets back and forth, and when you get to this dip, you dip down to this chain that you had to make in the stitch. So look that up and you can see what all that stitch involves. I really like the way it looks, and I like the transition. So then when I got up here to these solid colors, I had to even it out to get it straight. So basically I did the stitches so that it would be longer here and shorter in these areas, so that it kind of evened it all out. But then in this section, which I didn't get to do too much of it, but in this section I did a double crochet and a single crochet in the same stitch. Then I skipped a stitch. Double crochet, single crochet in the same stitch, and then skip the stitch. And then when you turn and you come back the other way, you will do your double, single into your single crochets from the row before, and you skip your doubles. So that I did that back and forth until I got to the point where I wanted to merge it into my next color. And so then I started doing a fan of just 5 double crochets and then do a single, and you skip 2 on each side. And so I did that with the blue into the white. And then of course you have this curve, so you're going to have to do some single, half doubles, and doubles to try to make your row straighten up a little bit. And then I started doing a granny stitch the rest of the way. And basically I just made sure to count my stitches, fudged at the ends where I needed to fudge, and then at the end I had some of each color left over. So after I did my row, my last row of my gray, I just went ahead and down here at this end, because this is where I finished my row of my gray, after I finished here, then I just turned the corner and I started doing single crochets. And I just kept going, doing single crochets around until I ran out of gray. And then I attached my teal. And for some reason I didn't have any of this brown left over, and I'm not sure why. But I attached my teal, kept going around on my teal till I ran out, attached my burgundy, kept going around until I ran out. And I almost made it all the way around on my burgundy. Almost. So at some point, let me see if I can find it. So basically when I started coming around and I was running out of my burgundy, basically I just stopped and tied it off, and that was that, because it blended right into that burgundy. So I like the way it turned out. That might make no sense to some of you, but for those of you who are experienced crocheters, you can probably figure that out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I'll try to answer your questions if you're interested in trying to do one of these, or at least maybe try merging from one color to another. I really like the way those merged from one color, transitioned from one color to another.